In today's video, we're going to be looking at the Palantir and AI bloodshed, and we're going to be asking the question, currently is Palantir a buy or a sell? And for MMTLP, we're going to be asking the question, did Danish investors get $1,500 per share for their MMTLP shares? So before we get started, let's have a look at what's happening in the market. So first of all, we can see right now, today, it's the worst day in the market since August the 1st, and it's basically a case of seeing what happens tomorrow and what happens for the rest of the week. So in terms of August, the employment report missed the expectations, so that is not positive. And according to the CME Fed Watch tool, the probability of a rate cut at the September meeting is now 84.8%, and nearly 99% chance of lower rates by the end of the year. So I think overall the thinking is still there is going to be a cut, but there are concerns about inflation. So we will have to see what Jerome Powell says. And from Market Beat, we can see here Wall Street is falling further from its records, and Nvidia and Palantir and many of the AI stocks are having a little bit of a sell-off. From Market Watch, again, we can see Fed officials are seeing that inflation is maybe potentially around the corner, and obviously consumers are likely to bear the brunt of that. So in terms of stock news, shout out to the Discord and the previous week's weekly watch list, where we had some great calls. These included OUST up nearly 30% on the week, BTAI up over 26.5% on the week, TEM, another stock, featured a number of occasions on the channel, up over 22% on the week, LMND up over 17.7% on the week, BBPR up over 14.5% on the week, and many more. So if you would like to get a copy of the next watch list as well as a copy of our daily stock alerts, details are in the description below. Before we get started, I'd like to take 1 minute of your time to share details of the Trading Secrets Discord. This includes daily stock alerts shared in the pre-market, the weekly watches shared prior to trading on the Monday, the $1 Million Challenge, and much more. So we also have had some tremendous calls in the weekly watch list, as well as the daily stock alerts, and these include LEAES up over 152% on the week, DOMH up over 210% on the week, IGTI up over 77% on the week, and many more. We have a new channel called Top Rank Stocks DD, and this includes PDF reports which you can download and use for research and due diligence. Obviously you can join us in live trading chat as well. We've just had a $2,000 Discord update which includes breaking news for stocks, including bio stocks, earnings, analyst ratings, Reddit news, why the stock is moving, and much more. And as well as that, you can join us in the famous $1 Million Challenge, where we look at compound return investing and 201 trades. And just a reminder of the power of compounding. If you have 1 cent, you double that for 30 days, you would have over $5 million, but we are using a strategy of just a 3.5% return. Let's start by having a look at Palantir, ticker symbol PLTR, and first shout out here is to Brew Markets, who have stated that Palantir has officially entered bear market territory, and at time of their post it was trading down 20% on the week at $147.07, and right now at time of editing it has come down at one point to $142, but we can see in the chart for today a strong recovery from the 142, and it's closed at $156.01. So still another red day, but it's only down 1%, and in the post market up 0.6%. so there was a recovery there. But the overall question here is, why is Palantir stock plummeting? So unlike many AI rivals, Palantir is profitable, it is growing revenue extremely quickly, and in terms of the long-term chart it's made exponential gains, and certainly in terms of the stock it carries multiples that far exceed OpenAI's, and despite OpenAI's substantially higher rate of sales growth. So there is a lot more revenue in Palantir. So in terms of the sell-off, we can see that companies that actually take AI and apply it to the real world, Palantir has been a notable standout. So they have delivered massive revenue. So the other key stocks, including C3.ai and BigBear.ai, they're still operating in the red. So compared to them, Palantir is way ahead. However, Palantir could be substantially overvalued, and this is where we've just had the Citron research report, which is a short report report, and they are stating here they are taking aim at Palantir's valuation, and this is one of the key reasons why we have been seeing this sell-off. So in terms of the short report from one of the most prominent short sellers in the market, they have pointed out that OpenAI's latest funding round is valued at roughly 17 times the sales, and Palantir stock carries a price to sales multiple nearly 7 times that of OpenAI. So basically they believe this is not rational, and they believe that Palantir is overvalued. So overall we can see that Palantir has been down in the red for 5 days in a row. So let's look at the question, is it now a time to buy or sell? So there is a bloodshed in the market, and we can see basically in terms of the chart, it's trading below its average 12 months price target, and if we have a look at the chart there, we can see the red at one time trading close to the $200 mark. But let's have a look at what the analysts are saying, and if we have a look at the 3 months ago, they're based on 20 analysts. One was a strong buy, 12 a hold, and one was a moderate sell. Right now the latest update from the analyst, based on 22 analysts, 4 are a strong buy, 15 a hold, and 1 a moderate sell. So overall the analysts are certainly a lot more positive, and as far as I'm concerned, I think the future for Palantir is certainly strong. I think this sell-off is going to be short term, and I think people will be picking this up certainly at discount, and I do think there could be a little bit more of a sell-off, but for the long term I think it's going to give you some tremendous returns. Let's have a look at the latest developments for MMTLP. So I'd like to follow on from the previous video where we looked at a post from Daniel, and what she stated here is the DTCC admits they blocked all MMTLP trades at the direction of FINRA in Rolo versus the SEC. So but one of the things that was stated that there was no proof of this in terms of any screenshots or evidence shared. So what Danielle has now done is followed this up with another post, and she stated here a few people asked for the proof, and she's added some screenshots here, and what she's basically also saying is with regard to MMTLP, and the pages later hide behind FINRA's immunity, and Robert Colby, who sits on the board at the DTCC, also holds a position at FINRA, admits in 2 separate letters to NBH that FINRA only has jurisdiction and authority over its members. So as far as the DTCC is concerned, it's not within FINRA's reach. And in the 3rd letter, Colby also admits FINRA cannot alter any corporate action. So I think this is probably what she's referring to as a potential smoking gun. But let's have a look at the images. So first of all, highlighted in yellow here under the preliminary statement, we can see in the filing it states from trades involving MMTLP which the DTCC cleared and settled, and from a regulatory trading halt imposed by FINRA on MMTLP in 2022. So that's the preliminary statement. In the other screenshot here, we can see signed by Robert Colby, the letter states that FINRA has jurisdiction only over its members and their associated persons, not investors, and neither FINRA nor the SEC provide authority for FINRA to require particular investors to close out their short positions. So they have made a point of stating that, and in the final screenshot is also highlighted again, confirming that FINRA does not initiate, approve or conduct the underlying corporate action that the issuer is taking. So I think this could be a potential smoking gun, and it's certainly something that I think FINRA have to answer the questions for. And it states here, rather the company itself is responsible for making sure the corporate action complies with the applicable laws and regulations. So I think as far as FINRA are concerned, we will need an FAQ Part 3. So they say their role is in the process of this is limited to reviewing and processing the submissions and announcing the corporate action. Obviously, in terms of deficiencies, any deficiencies under the rule in which FINRA may determine not to process the corporate action. But as far as we're concerned, we know that their corporate action was modified by FINRA, so they need to respond to that. But what I'd now like to do is have a look at another post from Danielle with regard to some Danish investors, and what she stated here is she's looking at potentially some news and information with regards to fires, covering 2 late to cancel orders, which have also been covered in a number of previous videos. She states, me and her two friends hold close to 30,000 shares. They called the DTC because E-Trade told us our shares were registered. So she spoke to a person by the name of Clarence at the DTCC, and he stated he knew of a steady 600 million shares. So again, I would like to say that's unconfirmed, but obviously it has been stated on the phone, should we say allegedly. But then she also goes on to say she was also told that Danish regulators paid off their investors $1,500 per share. So as far as I'm concerned, if this is the case, then nobody knows about it. There is no proof, and if there is any obviously clause or secrecy in this, I'm sure that may well have been out by now, but I'd like to see more information on that. Finally, just to finish off, quick shout out to Busy Brands, who's giving a shout out again to the Rob Carter show, who's had a good conversation with Kate Shaughnessy, so go ahead and check that out. And special thanks also to Rob Carter for covering MMTLP. Finally, thank you very much for watching. Please stay tuned.